Aloha kakahiaka and good morning, everyone. It is now 9:33, and mahalo for joining us this morning for the Hawaii Tourism Authority's Thursday, December 18th Advisory Board meeting. As a reminder, if you have a question or would like to testify on an agenda item, please use the Q&A portion or raise your hand. Should you wish to provide testimony, we will recognize you, and you may then proceed once unmuted. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and can we please take a roll call?
If you're on Zoom. Co-Chair Agas,
Here?
Co-Chair McCully is excused. Member Tabura,
Present.
Member Belmonte,
Present.
Member Elmore,
Here.
Member Fisher,
Present.
and alone. Okay. Member Guy,
Present and alone.
Member West, Member Ojiri,
Here.
Member Paulson,
Present.
Member Wong, Member Lazaro.
Present.
Okay, we do have a quorum, Co-Chair.
Thank you. So our vahina today will be provided to us by Milton.
Good morning and aloha.
Aloha.
So before I get started, I'd like to first do this quick exercise. And it's really easy. I want everybody in the room to please just take 3 deep breaths. You breathe in and you breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. You breathe out. Last one. Good. Thank you. Mahalo. So when I was growing up, I worked on a farm. And as maybe some of you know, working on a farm is hard work, very laborious work. And it usually went on early in the mornings until late in the evenings. And sometimes we would get groups of people that would come and volunteer to work on the farm. And that would make my day because it would be less work for me. But my father would often sit on the side while he's working, and he would take notice of 1 or 2 individuals that was working. At the end of the day, him and I would talk, and he would often describe these people or this individual as salt of the earth. And I thought about it, salt of the earth. It wasn't until a while ago that I looked it up. Salt of the earth. What is salt of the earth? And if you look it up, salt of the earth describes, it's an idiom or a phrase that describes a person or people who are fundamentally good, honest, reliable, decent, the backbone of society, often humble and hardworking. Anciently, salt was used, or it was a very highly valued commodity. Some say it was even worth its weight in gold. It was often used as trading. Salt, which is it was, and in the ancient world, it wasn't just used for seasoning, but it was also used in a lot of ceremonial blessings, which is why in a lot of these days in ceremonial blessings, salt is used, and its meaning is to preserve, to protect, and for perseverance. And yet the salt itself is made up, and it's very simple. It's made up of 2 elements, 2 components, sodium and chloride. Without these 2 elements, you cannot have salt. You have to have these 2 elements. So in my final thought, we have many staff members here at the Hawaii Tourism Authority that are good, reliable, decent, hardworking, humble people. But we alone are just one component. The other is the Hawaii Tourism Advisory Board, you. Together, we become the salt of the earth. Together, we move forward, we work together, and we make things happen to preserve, protect our culture, our people, and our resources. Doing this together will help us grow and our bond even stronger. And with that, I leave with you. Thank you. Aloha.
Mahalo. Thank you very much, Milton. All right, we're going to be moving to agenda item number 4, approval of minutes from the October 30th, 2025 Advisory Board meeting. May I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
The adoption of minutes from our last meeting has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, can we take a poll for approval? Well, actually, I'm sorry. Were there any questions online?
No questions online.
David? Or use the, yep. To accept? Aye.
Aye.
Member Belmonte,
Aye.
Member Elmore,
Aye.
Member Fisher,
Aye.
Member Joe, Member Guy,
Aye.
Member West, Member Ojiri,
Aye.
Member Paulson,
Aye.
Member Wong, Member Lazaro.
Aye.
It's approved.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Agenda number 5, report of permitted interactions at informational meetings or presentations not organized by the board under HRS Section 92-2.5E. Members, do any of you have something or anything to report? Okay, hearing none, moving on to agenda item number 6, our CEO report. Caroline?
Mahalo, Vice Chair. Aloha, board members. I'll give you a quick update of what our staff is doing. So first off, and you have the CEO report in your handout. So first off, just highlighting the performance of our industry, and wanted to thank Jennifer Chen and her team for all that they do with our visitor stats. So the latest stats we have is from October, and we saw that visitor spending is strong, up 5% at 17.8 billion. Per person per day spending is also up at 4% at $253. And state tax revenue is tracking 2.5 billion at also up at 5%. However, we know that our visitor industry and the broader economy is at a pivotal juncture. Market conditions are softening, and Maui continues its long-term recovery. Our international markets are also under pressure with the weaker foreign currencies relative to the US dollar and the added strain on the imposed tariffs. And our air travel capacity is also shrinking due to the consolidation of flight routes, both domestically and internationally. And also with the upcoming closure of the convention center in 2026, 2027, that will reduce our citywide business. And so as we move forward, we are looking to see what can we do as the authority to combat these conditions. And so you'll see later on in our agenda item from the Hawaii Visitors and Convention Bureau what we're doing in the US market. Looking at our organizational updates, we are recruiting for our admin assistant to help our finance and procurement team. I would like to thank David for all that he's doing with stakeholder engagement. He's been working with the legislature and also the visitor industry. As far as community and destination management, we have been out in the community working hard and hearing community input and getting feedback for our destination management action plans. And thank you to the board members who attended those community meetings. I'd like to thank our planner, Kendrick Leong, and also all of our destination managers for all their hard work in hearing and listening to the community's voices and also industry. It's really important as we move forward in developing these destination management action plans. And also wanted to thank our consultant, Ward Research and PPRC. In regards to our strategic plan, we are working hard in getting that put together. For the plan, we were hoping to have it before you this month, but we are pushing it back one more month. We just need a little bit more time. So we'll bring it before all of you in January. I'm sorry, I should have also mentioned for the DMAPs, we're also pushing that back a month. And so instead of it being completed in March, we're looking at April as well. We just need more time to digest everything that we're hearing. I'd like to thank our brand management team also for working with our global marketing team. Especially, we need our global marketing team to help us create that demand and bring arrivals to our islands, because we know we're headed in tough times, and also to make sure that we maintain and also, sustain our air-sea capacity and increase it as well. And with that, I think I'm just going to wrap up my CEO report, but just wanted to, express my deepest appreciation to all of you. We're at the end of the year. It's a time to reflect on our accomplishments, on lessons learned, and, looking into the future, into the next year, like how can we do better and move forward? So I really thank you all for your commitment, for being a part and agreeing to be part of the Hawaii Tourism Authority. And I also wanted to thank our staff. I know it's been a challenging year, but I think, we're working hard together and trying our best to make a difference. So thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you, Caroline. We too agree that we appreciate all that the staff does for us, and it's a lot going on in the holidays, so we hope they're going to have some time to enjoy that with their ohana. Any questions for Caroline?
Joel has a question online.
Okay. Joel?
Thank you. Yeah, maybe less of a question, just more of a comment that I really appreciate leadership's role in specifically the DMAP process. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of that, and I see the team working really hard out in our communities around the whole island. And I know it's a small team that's expected to do a lot when it comes to all the information they're getting. And I've been a part of that information giving, and I see the way they're processing it. And I just wanted to share how much we appreciate it out here specifically. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. Appreciate your comment. Anyone else? All right. Any public testimony or questions online?
Nothing online.
Okay. Hearing none, then we'll move forward to agenda item number 7. Presentation on the status of the Hawaii Tourism Authority and Hawaii Convention Center fiscal year 2026 budgets. Talon, if you'll help us with that. Thank you.
Then 10 minutes. No, I'm joking. Okay. Let's see. So this morning I will be going over our
Helen,
fiscal year
Helen.
2020.
1 second.
So-
You got to share the screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. This one? Yep. Okay. So should I leave that up? Should I leave that up? No, okay. All right, so this morning I will be going over our fiscal year 2026 financial results for the period July 1, 2025 to November 30th, 2025. So HTA's budget, we have two primary buckets. So we have our HTA operating budget and then our HCC budget. So right now that what you see on the screen is the HTA budget, and it's made up of 6 program IDs that add up to our $63 million operating budget. And I'm not going to go over each line by line. I'm just going to just report the big numbers. And then if you'd like, I do have the detailed version of the budget in the board packet, and you can take a look. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or anyone else at HTA, and we'd be happy to answer any of your questions. So to date, we've used $29,578,000. So the actual column that includes what's been paid to our vendors and also what's been encumbered to date. And encumbrances essentially means that the contract has been executed. So there's an agreement in place. And so we've set aside funds for the whatever agreement that we've executed on. So to date, again, we've used up $29,578,000. And then in the last budget versus actual column or the unused column, we still have $33,421,000 left to be spent. And we're about halfway through the year. So I'd say we're on track to utilizing most, if not all, of our fiscal year 2026 operating budget. Does anyone have any questions so far on our budget? No? Okay. I'll be moving along to our HCC budget. So our HCC budgets, there are 4 main line items. We have our operations, repairs and maintenance, sales, and then this last line item, transfer to budget and finance. I just want to point out the transfer to budget and finance that this is a non-recurring appropriation, and we're just paying back budget and finance $11 million for our fiscal year 2024 operations. It's a one-time appropriation, so next year you probably won't see that line item. And to date, we are on schedule to utilizing all $26,977,000 for our HCC budget. Oh yeah, and then one other thing, the HCC budget is our convention center special fund. And then lastly, we have our capital improvement projects appropriation of $36,400,000, and we should be using that by the end of the year. Does anyone have any questions?
Member Guy has a question.
Okay, sure. Should I?
Thank you. I am on a steep learning curve, so forgive me if this question's been already clarified somewhere else in the
problem.
packet. But if you go back to BED 117, yeah, on the regenerative tourism development budget, it looks like a slow burn rate. Do we anticipate encumbering the rest of that through this year?
Yeah, so as of right now, I can say I'm very confident that we will encumber at least $2 million. So if you go to the detailed version, we have our community tourism collaborative budget line item, and then our foundational technical assistance line item. So that adds up to a little bit over $2 million. And we're working on a contract right now to get that encumbered. That's with the CNHA. And then we do have an unallocated line of $1 million, and we are working with the director to allocate those funds to one other budget line item. Hopefully we will do that within the next month or two.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, thank you for the question. Does anyone have any other questions?
Yeah, Tan, I have a question on
Sure.
the capital improvement side. So
Sure.
you're saying you're on target, you're probably going to be on target to encumber and use the 36 million. Do you have more on the details though? Because on the detailed sheet, it doesn't have anything.
Oh, sure. Like which projects or?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we don't lose that. Like we use the money, right? We have the money. Let's make sure that Terry gets it to make all the repairs she needs, right?
Sure.
Not just the roof, because I assume we got a lot of other things to take care of, right? So I just want to make sure, right? I mean, we're already in going to be January, right? And
Mhm.
so we've got just what, 5, 6 months left in the fiscal year.
So, one thing for the CIP money, since it was appropriated for this year, we actually have a 2-year window. So these funds don't lapse until June 30th, 27.
Okay.
But as of right now, we are planning to use this for the roof project. So
Okay.
it'll be fully utilized. Yeah.
So if it laps, sorry to ask this question, though, if
problem.
it laps until June of 27, when we do the budget, the fiscal budget for the next year, do we get any additional funds? Or this is it for the 2 years?
We will see in the upcoming legislature. Yeah. We did put in a request for additional CIP funds though.
Okay, you have that. So we've itemized, Terry, we've been able to itemize and we know what our additional funds we want already, right?
Mhm.
Difference on the rooftop, those projects still need to be funded. And that's in the fiscal year 27 HTA budget ask. It's to the tune of 55 million because it's projects that we need funding for and those that we put on hold to the eligible funds.
Okay. Sorry, just want to make sure.
No problem.
Yes.
Good questions.
Excuse me if I'm not seeing it, but for the Dean maps, do
Mm.
we have a budgetary line?
Okay, so for the DMAPs right now, for the
Answer
DMAP,
that.
oh,
Yeah,
You
I can
wanna go?
answer that.
Okay,
So
sure.
there's, in the fiscal year 26 funds, there's no money for implementation. So once we're expecting the plans to be completed in April. So we're going to use that to put forward to the ledge for fiscal year 27.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Those are good questions. Okay, well, that essentially wraps up my presentation. So thank you, everyone.
Well, you said you was going to take more time, so are you singing, dancing, or? Sorry.
It's Christmas time. I don't want to ruin the holidays. All good.
All right. No additional questions from us? Any online questions?
No questions online.
All right. Thank you. We'll move forward to our agenda item number 8, presentation from the Activities and Attractions Association of Hawaii from Executive Director Tony Marie Davis.
Thank you so much. Aloha kakakiaka. I just want to say mahalo for your time and consideration of the story that I'm about to share. I'm just going to share my screen. I've got a colorful presentation.
And board members, you have the presentation also.
So my name, as was said, is Tony Marie Davis, and I have been the executive director for the A3H for the past 28 years. Before that, I was a part owner of a commercial charter boat, Pride of Maui, and I also taught high school physics and math. I live in Makawao, the ahupua'a of Hamakuapoko, near Kailua Gulch, on the north-facing shores of Haleakala. It's a beautiful place to garden, and I view it as my children's property, and I feel so blessed to have it in my care. And this is the outline of the presentation that I'm going to share with you today. First is, who is A3H? And what is in-destination experiences? On a global scale, the activities and attractions and tours throughout the state are called in-destination experiences, or I'm just going to say Hawaii experiences for the label. It's much easier than the whole mouthful. And what those provide for the industry, for the community, and the economy. And then our current challenges, which is why I'm here. We had a meeting with Director Tokioka in early December, and he was instrumental in having us secure this presentation with you. So again, so appreciate your time. And the goal here is that we're seeking direction from ATH's board and management regarding the best approach to secure marketing. Sorry about that. I've got this on a timer so I don't go over time. But to secure support for these resident-owned businesses in the industry. And I would say, as Milton shared with us earlier, these members that I represent, which I have been doing for 28 years, are the salt of the earth. And I'm so proud to have this position. So who is A3H? We are a member-owned trade association. We're a nonprofit 501c6, just like HBCB. We were established in 1989, and we represent this group, which I'm calling Hawaii Experiences. And we focus mostly on helping them with kind of what was mentioned earlier about the salt of the earth, protection, promoting, and communication. And for promotion, we focus on direct bookings. And our board is made up of 2 representatives from each county, Kauai, Oahu, Maui, and Hawaii. I'm just going to name them just so you can get a feel for who it is that I report to. And I'm going to go north to south. So starting with Kauai is Kamika Smith with Smith's Family Luau and Fern Grotto Boat Tours. Shay Donnelly with Blue Dolphin Charters. On Oahu, Alfred Grace with Polynesian Cultural Center and Mike Carr with the USS Missouri Memorial. On Maui, we have Denver Kuhn from Trilogy Excursions, Mario Noble from Maui Snorkeling, and from the Big Island representation is Roy Fun with Roberts Hawaii and Ronald Williams from Atlantis Adventures. So a lot of the bigger larger companies. We call a large company more than 50 employees in our industry. So we lobby for consumer protection as it relates to the sale of these activities, representing the members' interest in all levels of government. And again, as I said, we market direct to pre-arriving visitors out of respect for the on-island desks. And we also provide communications. We have private forums, and we do collective problem solvings. Like if someone's having a problem with a late paying agency, we will try to keep that among ourselves and strategically work with that agency to get people paid while not causing a run on the bank and making, just a house of cards fall apart. So why we focus on direct bookings? Because it improves the visitor experience and it best supports the values of Hawaii. The other reason is kind of obvious. Nobody else will do it. Everybody that sets up a website to sell activities and attractions, they're earning a commission. They're making a little, they have to support what they're doing. So our visitor outcomes are pretty apparent. There's a clear accountability for customer service because you're going direct to the source. There's no playing telephone here when you book directly with a client. And the community outcomes, there's more revenue retained by the resident owners, Hawaii-based operations. There's better data for the destination management. Often when it goes through a reseller, resellers have a way of wanting to own the guest information. So it's not all shared with the activity supplier, the Hawaii experience. It can be as simple as an email or their cell phone for sending text messages on notifications. So if HTA can influence the path to purchase direct from Hawaii Experiences, we can improve the retention and stability of these local businesses without changing the visitor volume targets. So staying aligned with that. And a motto that we have, which is why we're coming to you, because I think it's kind of corny, but we say, you get more than you expect when you book direct. So we need help. Anyway, thank you so much for that. And so who are we? This is my favorite slide. And I'm speaking for the members here. We are the hosts, the guides, the stewards, the kumu for the visitor when they choose to engage with this place. We are what visitors share, post on social media, stories with friends, videos, and pictures. We keep visitors safe while reducing the friction with residents. We make sure guidelines are followed. We make memories and become part of their ritual and routine as they become repeat visitors. So many of our members take multi-generational visitors here. It's the grandparents that first came, right? And the grandchildren now are coming with their kids. And we're stewards of this place. We are residents, and our employees are all residents, and our profits stay within this economy, which is really important. Often we're just thought of as the air, land, and sea stuff that people do, but we are so much more than this. This is why guided tour experiences matter. They protect the destination, they elevate the visitor's experience, they reduce the resident friction, and keep the benefits of tourism rooted in the community. That makes Hawaii, Hawaii. And why I'm here is I've been getting a lot of concern, mostly from Oahu and Maui, on Hawaii experiences guest counts going way down, revenues going down. And I kind of look at them almost like the canary in the coal mine. As Carolyn shared, spending's up. So how do, I look at this? So I went to the fabulous visitor statistics from DBED, and I tried to figure it out. I tried to show how I could share this with you and be backed up by data, because the message is Maui and Oahu are hurting. The Hawaii experiences there are hurting. And so what I had to do is, in looking at the database, it doesn't clearly have a category for our members. So I took entertainment and recreation plus dinner shows and cruises and transportation, put those together in a number. So for our industry for 2024, and I made it really simple and just did air only, we're at $2.6 billion a year. It's what we contributed to the daily spend by visitors. And what I want you to note is that a small change in those numbers, so 0.5%, just a little tweak, it's 125 million. That's the green fees projection, right? That's with cruise ship in it, but that's their projection. I would say if cruise ship was part of the 2.6 billion that we bring to the visitor industry, it's probably more like 3 billion, sorry. So let me just walk you through this. I started just with 1 year. I'm going to then show you 4 years so you can see the trend, because the trend is what is telling. So this larger band is total expenditures, average daily expenditures on Kauai for 2024 air only. 12.96% of that is from in-destination experiences. For the year, it's 372 million. Same with Hawaii Island, same with Oahu, same with Maui. You can see the average daily spend is lowest on Oahu, but it's the biggest number because they get the most people, right? So before I go to the trend, I want to just reinforce Oahu and Maui are the biggest pieces of the pie. This is 70% of the spend is Oahu and Maui. So if Oahu and Maui are having problems, I think it's an implication that it's kind of like a telltale. If you're a sailor at all, you watch those little tails. So here is the slide that kind of shows it. So this is the islands broken up. And what I've heard from Kauai and from Hawaii Island is they're doing okay. They're, it's nobody celebrating there, but they're holding their own. Kauai highly benefited from Maui's fires. I was recently on Kauai visiting with members there, and two of them actually showed me their sales. And in 2003, in August, went way up. Maui visitors went to Kauai, which has really helped their economy, which is great. I'm glad that people are staying in Hawaii. But here is proof of what I'm hearing from our Oahu and Maui clients, is that the daily spend, their guest counts are down. They're not doing well. And so to, fix any problem, right, you have to look at what's the root of the problem. You want to go to the root, not the symptoms. So here's their major pain points. There's mixed marketing messages. It would seem that the middle market is being ignored. We're going after a high-end visitor. There's a lack of skilled labor exacerbated by affordable housing. Price of Hawaii vacation is high while the Hawaiian destination margins are at their lowest. And lots of other things that actually through DMAPS, I'm part of DMAPS as well, huge proponent of that. I've given testimony to you when that audit came out. I really felt that that was unfair and it didn't actually reflect what goes on with DBED. DBED's a great organization and it's a way to have that home rule, home address, because each of the islands is very different. So the visitor impact of these pain points is potential guests are questioning whether they should come. One of our board members shared with us while we were discussing this presentation and what to do, he shared with us, he was just back on the mainland with his family. And every time he mentioned, he's from Hawaii, the person would say, do you guys want visitors? Seems like you guys don't want people to come there. I think those little samplings are important. I think they're things that we should pay attention to. There is this increase in self-guided, the flop and drop, people not doing as many activities. Pre-COVID, 3 to 4 activities for a vacation was pretty normal. Today, 1 to 2 is about what's happening in Maui and Oahu. There is a sense of Hawaii's becoming a very transactional experience. Visitors that are coming here are getting charged for everything. And yeah, I mentioned the STR bill, and I'm on Maui, so I'm very close to this, as well as the harbor opening and what happened there. There are some things with our government that are sending messages. I mean, the bottom line of this is we need to, there's a lot of talk of educating our visitors, but we also need to educate our residents. We need to somehow, the us and them that exists in our communities needs to be replaced by a we. We all want essentially the same type of outcome. So I'm sorry, I went off my talking points. So Hawaii experiences range from small mom and pops, owner operated, to large corporations employing hundreds of people. And the majority are small to medium. And Hawaii's experience margins are decreasing. The mixed marketing message that I've mentioned here compresses markets, labor constraints, and there's a growing operation friction. Visitor impact is measurable in sentiment and behavior, but there is an uncertainty about residents wanting visitors. And it may be that the current campaigns are strong at awareness, but the data is signaling that visitors are engaging less in the destinations on Oahu and in Maui. And it's as if which I shared, the middle visitor is being eliminated, as is the focus has become on the high-end spender. And this is exactly the model of Las Vegas. I don't know if you've seen any of the, there are a lot of videos now on Las Vegas and how it's pretty, their economy is floundering because they took this same path. So I don't want to see us do that. So consumer protection is a destination stewardship. A3H helps reinforce trusted sellers and consistent standards across channels. We have hawaiifund.org, which is a website that lists all of our members as part of their membership, and it does a direct booking path with vetted operators. All of our members are properly insured, properly licensed, properly permitted. We have a 3 strikes you're out rule, so that there is a vetting, so that these are high quality, long established businesses, and it's aligned with the HTA programs. So we're just looking at, we bring this to the table. How can we work with HTA more? We've never gone to this level. We've never reached out. So this is just a snapshot of hawaiifund.org, and our funding source is the Shaka Gold card that we sell. We recognize that one of the biggest challenges for visitors to do more is price. So we developed the virtual discount card, the Shaka Gold card, which $30 covers up to 4 guests. It's good for 1 year. It's non-transferable, and the card can be endorsed for more than 4 people. And since launching the new site, I know 27,000 doesn't sound like a lot when we've been talking about billions and millions, but 27,000 is 27,000 that we have generated from the site. And we have that tool. So what's our best approach to secure and improve marketing support for these local businesses in this sector of the Hawaii visitor industry? And we have the visitor-facing discovery. It's trusted and verified. We can have measurements if you need them. I am a tech person. IDE to me is an integrated development environment, but I could spin up a landing page, in a day easily, and we could have that tracked. We have tracking right now on all of our sites. And with that, I wanted to leave time for questions, if you have any. And again, thank you so much. Happy holidays, and may the new year be prosperous for all of us. Mahalo.
Thank you, Tony. Members, anyone have any questions for her?
I just had a comment. I wanted to say aloha to Tony. We actually did a MBA program together through UH Manoa. So it's just so great to see Tony and continuing to do the work that you do in the activity and tour related business after many, many years. So just wanted to mahalo you. Thank you for the presentation today. Happy holidays.
Oh, mahalo. Thank you. Thanks for reaching out.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Aloha, Tony. The Shaka card, you gave a number of how much you guys sold it, or how many people do you know are using it? Do you have a number for that?
Well, the card is good for a year from the date of purchase. I could get that data for you if you want it. It's not hard to do. It's all in a database. So
Just curious. And is it digital?
yes, it's completely
Is it?
digital. So it is the profit margins are amazing because it runs itself. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Chair. Tony, it's Lisa. Hi, good to see your face. I miss you. So
Thanks for being on the board. It's nice that
Absolutely.
you're there.
So the end ask is that you're asking to perhaps be a contractor with HTA?
I'm unsure. Our board had lots of discussions about this presentation and how I was to do it and what was acceptable or what wasn't. I know, way back, with HBCB Hawaii Fund's not a new site. It's just been redone so that it is now Switzerland as far as booking platforms go, so that whatever a company uses for their booking platform, the site will book directly with that company. And we're working with different booking platforms to say, hey, just give us a URL and we'll post these up there. But I was told, that we can't, that's not possible. But if that's possible, whatever you would recommend, that would be great. I see, we are so in between an HVC kind of what they do as well as a CNH and CHN because we're residents. We live here. We're doing all of that. But at the same time, we're focused on pre-arrival. But as I shared, I think one of the pain points that we're experiencing is that them, especially on Maui, we need to get back to the we. So
Agreed. Chair, question. Is this something we should bring to the branding committee to further discuss?
Actually, I was just talking to Caroline in regards to what our global teams already do as far as marketing some of these things. So trying to see where would be the right committee we'd want to bring this up to.
Maybe the branding.
Maybe branding. Okay.
And we can also, I can also reach out to Tony afterwards and connect and see how we can partner and stuff like that. Yeah.
Thank you both. I just don't want this to not go anywhere from here.
Understood. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you, Tony.
Oh, thank you, Lisa, and thanks, Caroline. Great to
Yeah.
see you both.
Same here.
All right. Any other questions online for us, for Tony?
I do have two questions online, but I also noticed that Member Fisher has his hand raised.
Okay. Member Fisher?
Hi there, Tony. Thank you so much for that. My comment I wanted to make is that the research data that you had presented, I think, is incredibly valuable. And as we split up into our committees and the information that you've provided, I think is that, I've always said that data drives decisions. And on one hand, it's kind of alarming to see some of the things that the way it's trending. I know we've all been living large here for the last couple of years coming out of the pandemic, and now with recent situations, politically and however immigration, how it's affected visitors coming to the islands. I think that a lot of that data is really going to just help us dig in and really, help us, steer some of our decisions and the initiatives that we're working on within this advisory board. So I thank you for that, and I would say keep that information coming. It was, I think it's really, really good and extremely valuable.
Thank you so very much. There's a lot of time spent on that. Big accolades to Jennifer Chun with all the visitor statistics, because I mean it's amazing how you can slice and dice that. But it was hard because there wasn't a clear extraction of our industry. It also, it concerns me a little bit. I think it would be more accurate for sure if we use GET. If there is a way to flag GET for our resident-owned run businesses, and how they are part of the Hawaii experiences, we could get much better numbers. I mean, they would be actuals. It'd be great.
Thank you.
I do have some questions online. The first one is going to be from an attendee. Are these member pain points from all islands or just from Oahu and Maui?
They are a variety. I mean, I have to go by one to say which are more prevalent. The marketing message being mixed is everybody, as that does affect the whole state. Illegal operators is and the fraudster situation. There's a lot of HVCB or HTA came out with that red book, right? The Chinese were selling tours at super reduced prices and then giving the supplier stolen credit card information. And because the lead times were really short on these bookings, it wasn't discovered until the stolen credit card owner disputed the charge. I mean, there was thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars lost in those situations. And those situations are increasing. So on the other side of it, we're looking at ways to combat fraud, and something we could do together. I mean, because awareness is a huge part of managing that damage.
Thank you, Tony. The second question is, again, from an attendee. It says, I'm unsure if this is too in-depth of a question. How are you planning to change the mentality from a us versus them mentality to a we mentality?
It's a really good question. And I wish I had the golden answer. I hate to have problems without solutions. But, the best part of it, I think the best approach would be relationships, and actually taking those. Probably the most damaging is government workers who, in their capacity, will speak badly about the visitor industry. And when a government employee speaks badly about the visitor industry, as happened with Bill 9, if that government employee could be brought on some excursions, dragged if you have to, because what I've found with people that are kind of on the other side, They don't like the visitor industry. They don't have anything to do with it. I asked a doe care enforcement officer with DLNR. I always say DLNR is missing the M. They need management in their acronym, because the visitor industry it's a gift to any destination, right? The key is managing it. If we don't manage it, and the residents are Achilles' heel, the residents can just ruin it by not welcoming these people. So if I had said to this doe care gentleman, we were talking about Molokini, and I said, have you ever gone out on a tour? Because he was just bashing the boats. And he got very angry at me and said he would never step foot on a boat and never go out there. And that's what we need to break through. That's where we need somebody who is kind of considered an ambassador in between, that takes these people and lets them actually experience it. And if they did, they would see these people are stewards. They're doing what they do because they love this place and they want to protect it and they want to share it with the visitors. I mean, I don't think we should ask visitors, you know, you have to be this certain type of person to come here. I think we should make the visitors when they come here, not make them, but we should put energy into making them the kind of visitor that we want them to be. And we can do that. I mean, they don't know what they want if they don't, you know, you can't know what you don't know, right? They want to engage with this place. They want to learn the culture. They want to be touched. And I think that's our role. If you go back to the George Kanahele kind of Naha way of what is our industry about, it's to plant seeds of aloha in all these people that come here and make sure that's our responsibility. That is our benefit out of being blessed to live here and call this our home. Okay, I could go. Thanks.
Thank you again, Tony. The last question for you is going to be from Eric. How many activities, businesses are part of the Shaka Gold Card for Oahu only?
Again, I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I could get that for you. It's not a lot. Mind you, when COVID happened, making payroll or being part of a trade association, well, there was no decision there. We had great attrition in COVID, and we have been coming back from that. Maui fires also hit our membership. When Maui fires happened, we actually gave free membership to Maui members that were impacted because, you know, the financial imperative, you know, they couldn't do it, but we wanted to help. It's not a lot, not what it could be. And we welcome more. Our fees for membership are $45 a month for a small business, $80 a month for a medium-sized business, and for 50 or more, that's a large business for us, is $100 a month. And if you pay annually, there's a 10% discount. So it's very affordable. The rates haven't changed in, I would say, 10 years, 15 years. So thanks for the question. Sorry, I don't have the data, but I can get it to you.
I will get you connected with Eric so that way we can get in the information. And that's all the questions online.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. As Carolyn mentioned, we'll make sure we follow up with you for further discussion.
Chair, if we could acknowledge Michael Carr, who's in the room, who is the president for Battleship Missouri.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
I just came to support Tony. I'm the newest board member of A3H, but I can't speak on behalf of all the Pearl Harbor historic partners. They are all down, every one of us. So we're down 6. The Aviation Museum is down 10%. The bullpen's down 7%. I'm not exactly sure of the Arizona numbers, but you know, collectively, we're the largest attraction in the state. And collectively, last year we had about 3 million visits. But we're all down. We're doing okay, but we certainly are all down. So I want to support Tony and everything she said. But she asked me to come. So
thanks, Mike. Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate that. All right. Hearing that we have no other questions, we'll move on to agenda item 9. And that's a report from the standing committee. So we'll start with is anyone going to be doing the administrative standing committee?
Member
All right,
Guy.
Joel.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Jim, for not making it today and allowing me the opportunity to be thrown out in Front Street here. I'll be reporting on the Administrative Standing Committee. The committee met last October 20th, I believe. Yeah, to focus on advancing the necessary administrative and governance items to support an advisory board's role in operations. I think 2 items were advanced out of that committee meeting and to be considered for action today at a full board. One was the code of conduct policy, and then the other was an annual delegation of authority resolution. The first item is policy number 100-03, the Advisory Board of Conduct, Code of Conduct. This policy sets clear expectations for ethical conduct, conflicts of interest, and fiduciary responsibilities consistent with state law and advisory role of this board. And the Administrative Committee recommends it for approval. So it's basically sets the code of conduct, and I think we do this annually. Is there any questions or discussion on this topic?
Member Guy, I think some of us do have government affairs offices that we work at our current employers that we still need to run these type of things through before we sign.
Okay.
I know.
Would that not allow you to vote on supporting the code of conduct?
I can speak for myself. I do have to run this through my government affairs before we sign something as part of my participation on this advisory board. So at this time, I cannot vote until I run this through them.
Okay, cool.
Same for me.
It's for, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I do it the advisory board. I still have to get, yeah.
Maybe David can help me. Will we defer this then to a future meeting?
Yeah, I think we need to defer it for a
Okay.
future meeting. This would probably be the same for the resolution as well.
We can go ahead with discussion if there's questions or any other things people want to talk about, and then defer an approval or vote on it.
Is it the same for the resolution? I'm not sure who was just speaking a second ago. I mean, excuse me, for the second one that's,
Yeah, because we have to sign, right?
Well, you as the co-chair, the co-chair sign.
I think we do have to defer this one also because I would still have to sign as co-chair too.
okay.
I think. I mean, I don't know.
This is the one that allows us to have conversations with legislators, not all of us, but specifically set up a framework for that work going into the legislative session. I think that was the intention of the second resolution. I could be wrong, but that was my understanding. And so,
So if we don't, the question, if we don't sign this now for them, does this hinder them going to the legislators?
that's what I'm afraid of. I guess I'm asking that to John or David if we don't have it in place.
Yeah, I'm asking AG.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, I think it could. I mean, if it's not passed, because it is changed, given the change in the law, about, the directors, the department's powers versus the HTAs. So I think this says the advisory board agrees along with the DBED director and the CEO about the communications with the legislature or other governmental affairs. So I do think it may delay. I mean, the CEO and the director would certainly be able to communicate, but the board members, at least as, representative of HTA, individually, you could always talk to a legislator, but you couldn't do it on behalf of HTA until I think the resolution is taken care of.
Do we have a January board meeting?
Yeah.
We do.
Yes, we could do it in January.
Yeah, could we have time for all of us to kind of review this and then we can vote in the January meeting, which would then hopefully be right before legislature season starts? Is that okay? I'm sure Jim's gonna die with me.
think last time we voted in January also.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just trying to, be ahead of the game.
Okay, so member Guy, we're going to go ahead and move this for vote at our next board meeting, which will give all of us time to review it and finalize and be ready to vote, and then we can vote on it then.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything else on the Administrative Standing Committee?
No, thank you very much. That's all I got.
And just a reminder for all of the committees, Carol sent us out the information about the description for us to get back to her if there were any changes that we wanted. Okay, sorry. And so we needed to respond back to Jim and Caroline. Are we past due? Danny and I are fine with the branding. Okay, just a reminder, if we can get back the chairs for the committees to please send your notes over to them. Okay, let's see. Any other ones?
I think so is the US handbook, which we're asking to go into second.
Okay, so we are going to need to go into executive session at this time. We will be talking about our US brand marketing information. So for this agenda item, we'll proceed into executive session. John Cole will join us to offer an explanation. Once the executive session concludes, we will reconvene briefly to summarize the outcomes and then adjourn. All right? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I just need to explain the reason we'll be going into executive session, and it's so that the board may receive and discuss information that should be kept confidential to protect Hawaii's competitive advantage as a visitor destination, and that's under Hawaii Revised Statutes Section 201B4. And then we do need a motion and second to go into executive session.
Okay, can I get a motion to go into executive session, please?
I motion to go into executive session.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Motion to move into executive session. Moves.
You do need a vote. I mean,
No, I'm
you
sorry.
can just
Do
say
we
if
need a
anybody
vote?
opposes, you don't need
Okay.
a roll call.
Does anyone oppose? No? Okay, we'll move into executive session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Members online, you should have been sent an email just now with the link. So if you have any troubles, just give Carol or I a call.
Hmm. Sorry, we got to go to another link.
Yes, we'll be going to I guess we'll log out of this meeting and log into that other one.
Okay.
Or I believe, yeah.
See you in a
All
minute.
right, see you in a sec.
Okay, we are back.
Aloha, everyone. We're back in session. Want to say we had a great discussion with HVCB presenting some ideas for our upcoming 2026. So we're looking forward to working with them on that. And this actually concludes our meeting for today. So mahalo for joining us for today's virtual meeting of HTA's regular board meeting. As a reminder, should you wish to ask questions or provide testimony, please use the Q&A option to submit your questions or alert us that you would like to provide testimony on agenda items. All right, so thank you everyone for participating today, and this concludes our meeting. Mahalo.
Mahalo, this concludes the Hawaii Tourism Authority's Thursday, December 18th, 2025 Advisory Board Meeting. Mahalo for joining us today.